and then I got a text message saying, "You have tested positive for coronavirus." And I was actually stunned. I was on the phone to my friend, and I was talking to him saying, "Oh yeah, I felt really bad yesterday, but I feel fine now." And then I was like going, "Oh my God." I said to him, "Oh my God, I've got coronavirus." Hello everyone. So today I will be talking about, as 2020 is coming to an end, I'll just be sharing how my 2020 has gone and how it has impacted my mental health. Part of that is also me getting COVID. I'm laughing. It's not a laughing matter. It's like a kind of, it's not funny, but then it's like, it's my way of, it's just so ridiculous. Like the thought that I got COVID. I know it's not a ridiculous thing to get COVID, but for me it feels like a ridiculous thing. This doesn't make any sense. Maybe I should delete the whole thing. No, but the thing is, right, it doesn't make sense for me to get COVID because I know I've been safe, but somehow I managed to get COVID anyway, and it's really, really annoying. It was really horrible. And I know at the moment lots of people, lots and lots and lots of people have suffered from it, and some of them are still recovering, and some of them have very sadly died. And if you have anyone close to you where that has happened, my condolences, and I'm sending all the love to you in the world. I was extraordinarily lucky. I am very lucky to be a physically healthy person, and I did manage to recover from COVID. I did not get hospitalised, and I'm very lucky for that, and very, very grateful, very thankful for that. Very thankful for that. So, yeah, I'm kind of of the mentality. If you laugh, I better laugh, otherwise I'm gonna cry. So that's how I'm feeling. This year's just been a really weird year, and I'm kind of laughing at the sheer ridiculousness of this. So I just want to say, I know coronavirus is a very serious issue. That's why it's something that gets me very anxious over. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to be talking about, and I would love it if you could share how your year has gone in the comments below. And remember, the comments are kind, sharing, and loving space. Be nice to each other, even though I still see a few arguments. But yes, be nice. So last year I did a video about how 2019 had been the worst year for me ever. I'm laughing because I didn't know this year was coming. Yeah, it was basically the worst year of my life so far. So there's a link there's a link in the description below if you want to watch that. So that can hopefully give you a bit more insight into where I was coming from at the beginning of this year. You know, I did that video that I did commemorating the end of 2019 on a positive note. I was still not in a great place mentally, but luckily I got a therapist. In that video I also talked about that I had a life coach who was great. Unfortunately, things didn't work out. Turned out she wasn't the right match for me. After all, that's all I'm really going to say about it. So, yeah, she wasn't the right fit for me. So I've got this amazing, fantastic therapist who has 2 cats, and I'm a big cat person. Something to know about me, I'm a big cat person. So I only had a few in-person sessions with her before lockdown hit and COVID hit, and so I've basically been having them all on Skype at the moment. She is fine. I've finally found the right therapist for me. Don't know if I'm going to do a video talking about my therapy experience. If it's something you do want to see, let me know in the comments below as well. So that was kind of my year. I had a couple of house parties at my house. It was quite weird saying that out loud. This happened in the same year. I had house parties. I had friends over to make pancakes in February. I'm just trying to get my head around that sentence at the moment because that's a very bizarre sentence. I don't think I've had like a group of friends in my house since February. That's really weird because I'm the kind of person, I'm quite a confident, sociable person, so I kind of love organising events for my friends and I, and so that's really weird thinking about that. I haven't gone out since February. Right, this is getting weirder and weirder. Okay, I've been doing virtual events all year. Virtual events with my friends all year, guys. Lockdown hit. That was stressful. Actually started the beginning of March with a persistent dry cough. So I was really scared I had COVID, and at that time there wasn't a way where we could just go and get tested because that was the rules in our country. So basically, yeah. I had a persistent dry cough and I was convinced I had COVID. I've no idea if I did or not, to be fair. You can get it twice. I don't know if I had COVID. I found it very anxious inducing at the beginning of lockdown, and then I got really used to it. I got a lot calmer. I spent a lot of time with nature. I know this is really boring, typical answer, but honestly, I just went to the park a lot. I went to the park. I did the couch to start doing the couch to 5K run. I had to stop near the end of it because I don't have proper running shoes. But I'm not a big exercise person. But for me, exercise has a huge impact on my mental health. During lockdown was probably like the only bit of exercise that I have really properly done, because exercise is this thing where I have like a love-hate relationship with. I know it has a positive impact on my mental health, but because I've past trauma I had with it when I was younger, I just avoid it like the plague at the same time. So it's this thing where I know it's good for me, but it also gives me trauma. So it's a mixture. The thought of doing it gives me trauma, not actually doing it gives me trauma. So it was kind of like a really weird roller coaster for my mental health. So I started off like, oh, my hand looks really big. Started off like, like that. Near the end of lockdown, I was getting more anxious coming out of lockdown, which was not what I had expected. But then I kind of set this routine for myself. I started trying to learn new things. I've started learning Mandarin, although that's kind of stopped. But I'm hoping to start it again in 2021. So yeah, I've been just trying to do new things, but also at the same time, if that's not been you at all, if you have literally just been chilling and sitting there and just doing your own thing, that's totally fine. Like, I feel there's a lot of pressure for other people to be like, you should be doing all these fun things and learning all these things and creating all these businesses and stuff. Like, no one says you have to do that. I think it's just the problem of our society is we are very go, fast paced, and then the whole lockdown had to make us pause. So people are like frantically trying to occupy themselves because we're still in that go, fast paced mentality. So that's how it was really. Summer was nice. In the UK, we had the Help to Buy. I can't remember the exact name. The one where you have half price at half price at restaurants Monday to Wednesday, 50% off, which actually helped increase the spread of COVID. But we were all really excited to have half price food. We were really excited to eat out again. I went on holiday in the UK to some lovely places. I went to Norfolk by myself, which was beautiful, and I enjoyed it so much, because normally I go abroad. I was meant to go to New York, I was meant to go to Vietnam and Cambodia. That went out of the window. I did not go to those places, and I would not go to New York for a very long time, considering America's at over 3,000 deaths a day. And I was thinking about this actually. Why America's so, well, I mean, I don't need to answer why America's so high. We all know why America's so high. But then I was on Instagram the other day, and then I saw this American influencer, and she was going, they were like going, for New Year's Eve, what are you doing for New Year's? She's like, I'm going to Miami to party. I'm like, this is why you have over 3,000 deaths. Yes, I then unfortunately got into a car collision, which I did do a video about that. That is also in the description below. That was really horrible. Really put me off having a car for a long time. Put me off driving for a few months, and put me off having a car. I found it very mentally traumatic, and I had really bad anxiety coming out of it. I had a lot of trauma, to be honest, because every time I closed my eyes, I'd see the incident happen. But luckily, my boyfriend Kevin has really helped me massively, and yeah, so that was my summer. We've been through about 3 lockdowns in the UK. We're currently doing tiers, and because even though we have the government here I'm just going to be honest, guys, the government here have not been good at responses. They keep doing U-turns because they realise they're not doing the right thing. But then we all breathe a sigh of relief. I was talking to my friend in Australia the other day, and she said how they've done a pretty good job, I guess. And I have a friend on the Isle of Man, which they have managed to have 0 COVID cases since August. Maybe I should say I'm going to be talking about COVID. Guys, I'm talking about, they're very strict, because if you do not wear a mask, you are slapped with a £1,000 fine and jail sentence. If these facts are wrong, I'm sorry, this is what my friend who lives there told me. So, I have my birthday in lockdown. As you saw from my birthday video, it wasn't obviously what I had planned, but honestly it turned out to be a really great celebration. I've been doing a lot of journaling this year, huge amounts of journaling. I also have been attending courses myself to cultivate my inner child, which I can make videos on that in case people are interested. What is the inner child? I can always make a video on that. And just learning so much about myself, learning stuff about myself from my past, which has really had great impacts on my mental health. I feel that before, when I had a counsellor, before when I had a therapist, I was quite very dependent on them. I was probably like 80-20, like 80 dependent on them and then 20 not. Whereas now I'd say at the moment it's like 40-60. So, I'm still obviously quite dependent, and it's really good to be able to talk to a professional, talk about my stuff, but also it's been really good to work on myself individually as well. So yeah. And then this year was kind of I was like, do you know what? Despite everything, this isn't as bad as last year. Because last year I was in a lot of pain, I was very low, and then I got COVID. And then everyone else in my household got COVID because of me, because I got COVID. And yes, so I guess this is what some of you have maybe fast forwarded to, or just wanted to watch this, hear the bit about me getting COVID. When I found out I had COVID, I did have a bit of a sore throat and a bit of a cough, but genuinely I thought that was from partying too much at my birthday. Virtually. It's very wild these times when I go to bed at 12. I don't know, being older, right guys? I'm being an older person now. I can't stay up. I cannot stay up past 12 now. I'm like, nope, I've got to go. I've got to go to bed. I've got to go to bed. So, yeah. Getting sidetracked. I digress a lot. Okay, so actual COVID symptoms I got in the beginning of December, where it all started. I woke up before 7 a.m. with a really bad headache, like kind of above my eyes. But it was the kind of headache, I don't get headaches. I know there are people out there who get headaches, migraines, I don't get that. If I get a headache, it's because I've been looking at my laptop too long, or my phone, or I haven't drunk enough water, or haven't had enough sleep. So it felt like it was when I had enough sleep. However, I also felt quite feverish. So I slept a bit longer, till about 10:30, but normally I'd be fine. But I still had this banging headache. Then I went and I got my temperature checked. I was 38, so that was weird. And I got very panicked. So I immediately went online to book a COVID test. I am very, very privileged to live where I live because there's about a 5-minute walk away. There's a COVID testing centre. There's a walk-in testing centre. And I booked it about 11 and I got it about 1 p.m. that same day, which is great. And unlike in New York, where I've heard in New York they have like 7-hour queues. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I've heard. This is what I've seen on the media. Never mind. I don't need people criticizing the media. So anyway, I did the test and they said it'll be like about 24 hours. And then the whole day that day, I had a temperature, I had this banging headache, I was using like a cold flannel. And then the next day, I felt really genuinely fine. I had no temperature, no headache, I had a little bit of a cold, but that was it. So I was going, no, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. And then I got a text message saying, you have tested positive for coronavirus. And I was actually stunned. I was on the phone to my friend and I was talking to him saying, oh yeah, I felt really bad yesterday, but I feel fine now. And then I was like going, oh my God. I said to him, oh my God, I've got coronavirus. And at that time, the rules still were that everyone else in my household had to isolate for 14 days. So they changed it midway through my isolation to 10. The same. So I have to isolate for 10 days. And everyone else had to isolate for 14 days. On day 8, I think on day 8 of isolation, day 8 to 10, I think one owes. The other people in my household ended up testing positive for coronavirus. So yeah, basically that's the isolation time. So anyway, and then the day after that, when I said I'd felt fine after getting the test, I started getting really, really lethargic. I was it was a weird tiredness. It wasn't like, oh, I want to sleep, but it was I want to sleep, but it was also just every like part of energy for me had been just drained. I just felt so drained of energy to the point I could not get out of bed. Like I couldn't even sit up in bed, and basically my mental health actually, when I got tested positive with coronavirus, was alright, because I was like, look, this is the thing I have been avoiding all year. I seem to be fine. I seem to be fine. I was even thinking about this video that I was going to do for you guys. I was like, I can be like, hey, I didn't really get any symptoms. This is going to be fine. And then the next day, my mental health just went, it just went down. It just went down. I felt very, very low. I was just crying. I didn't even have the energy to cry. I'm just going to be honest. My mental health was very bad. And I felt very low. I just genuinely did not see when this was going to end. I felt incredibly bored as well. Because do you know the thing was though, when the day before I was going to set like a routine of things to occupy myself with. And then I just completely crashed. It was awful. And then I started getting brain fog. I literally could not, it felt, literally that word is how it sounds. It does feel like a fog has overtaken your brain. You cannot remember things. You cannot remember how to do things. And I just was barely functioning. I was really scared. I was really scared it was going to get worse and worse and worse. Because you hear about people with brain fog and they don't recover, and there's people still suffering from the symptoms of it. So I was really scared I was going to be one of those people. It was really terrifying. And I had it for the next couple of days, and then it slowly left, and I just developed a cold, like a normal cold for winter. I've had colds worse than this, and it was really weird. And I was like, okay. And then I started to get up to full strength. And then the other people in my household got COVID, which, I don't know if I mentioned that, but yeah. The other people in my household got COVID. They got COVID so I had to isolate for 10 days, like I said, and they got it, I think, between 8 to 10 days isolation. They got symptoms of a fever at first and a headache. Then they got very achy, got very tired. I've been very lucky that none of us had to be hospitalised. I did have one day when I was struggling to breathe, but I don't know if part of that was psychological, because it would be like when I stood up and I'd start hyperventilating as well, and I felt my chest would tighten and I would feel dizzy, and it's just, I would not wish COVID on anyone, not that I would have before, but COVID is no joke, guys. So at the same time, I don't know whether to hope if people who believe COVID is a hoax is watching this or not watching this. Because I know there are like people who are anti-mask. Don't worry, I see this everywhere I go. I see people who are not wearing masks on public transport, and it's very infuriating. Actually, it's very infuriating. I had someone the other day, I was paying for my food shopping, and someone decided to stand right next to me. It was so aggravating, and it sucks because the reason why I like laughed at the whole ridiculousness of me getting COVID is because I'm super safe. I wear a mask anytime I'm pretty much anywhere. So I carry hand sanitizer around with me. I social distance when I can. And I'm pretty sure, and I'm really not trying to blame people here, but I'm just going to be honest, I'm pretty sure I got it from someone who wasn't being that safe. Because I don't use public transport anymore. And I feel that where I picked it up from, it was from someone who was not being safe, because there are people around me who are not being safe. Even though we are in tier 4, even though we didn't get to see our families at Christmas, a lot of us, that is what has happened in the UK, not getting to see our families at Christmas, people are still being reckless and ridiculous, and it's annoying. It's just annoying, and I'm just trying to breathe and just be like, trying to breathe the big thing, and just realise this. I'm just hopeful. Because now we have a vaccine out, and I know the people have all got different opinions about the vaccine, and I totally understand if you guys have different opinions in the comments as well. But it's just this frustrating thing, because I feel it has put our lives on pause, and I know it's good to see the positives in it, but I do find it really difficult when I see people flouting the rules, but just being not safe, really. And I feel it's because in my country at the moment, there is no real penalty for if you decide to not wear a mask. No one's going to stop you. And I don't tend to say anything either to people, to their faces, because you never know how the people are going to react. You never know if they're going to get aggressive or violent. There was a case on a bus in London where an older NHS worker, a nurse, I believe, moved away from this young man because he wasn't wearing a mask, and he beat her up and left her unconscious in hospital. Like, this is real stuff that happens. So I don't want to be beaten up and left unconscious in a hospital bed. Because I move away from someone not wearing a mask. So can you imagine if, like, what happened if I said something? So I'm just using my platform here to be like, basically, guys, don't be an idiot. Please wear a mask. Please social distance. I feel like there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of influencers, and there's quite a few celebrities as well, who don't take it very seriously. And then they end up with it and they're going, oh, guys, just think about yourselves. I know how much we all want to interact with people. I want to hug my friends dearly. I want to hug my mum and dad. I haven't hugged them the whole year. Like, well, nearly the whole year at the end, since March. And I know we all want to be with people that we love and interact with those people, but also just think, because you could kill people, you know. And I understand mental health, because the effect of isolation on mental health is horrible. And I know that firsthand. Being in isolation with COVID was horrific and horrible. But I just think we have to find other ways to combat it. That's genuinely what I think, because, I mean, I'm not going to go on YouTube and be like, hey, don't wear a mask, because it just genuinely, it angers me that people aren't going around wearing masks. Some people say, oh, I have human rights. Yeah, you have human rights, because while you're alive, it's not a political statement to put a piece of cloth over your face. It is to help you combat against a virus that has killed millions. That is the truth. And, whoa, this is a heavy ending. I don't want to end it on such a negative note. But that's basically what I'm saying is, guys, save your life, save other people's lives, wear a mask. So, yeah. Wear a mask and social distance. It doesn't work if you just wear a mask and just stand next to every person like that person did in the supermarket. Oh my lord. So, yeah. Positive things, guys. Oh, this might be controversial. I'm going to get some people being like, oh, I have free rights. I want to not wear a mask and cough in each other's faces, which is what happened in the UK, and someone actually died, so don't do that. Yeah, positive things. I've been doing lots of filming. I've had a lot of time to think and reflect on the kind of videos I want to do. I did try and work on a cover. I didn't like it and I deleted the whole thing, but I am hoping to work on covers. I've been saying this for years, guys. I will work on covers. I can say some of the videos I've worked on. I filmed so much Home Free. Honestly, Home Free caught my ears, and I'm really excited for that. So you're gonna see some Home Free reactions. You're gonna see some Nightwish reactions. I know some of you have been waiting, being like, react to Nightwish. I'm gonna react to some Nightwish. Trying to think about it. I have a couple of non-singer reactions, because I know some of you like those. Because I do react to a lot of singers, but I have a couple that are non-singers. Ooh. I've got a couple of best singers ones as well, and more. So much more. I can't remember them all from the top of my head, to be honest, guys. I'm still filming. Oh yes, and some Angelina. I've got some Angelina as well. Got a few of those, and much more. You're just going to see. At the end of this all, I'm really hoping this COVID goes away now, so we can all hug our friends and family and our loved ones and just meet people and just, like, in normal ways again, physical ways. I'm honestly sending you guys so much love. Thank you so much for the support that you've shown me this whole year. It's been a really weird year, like an out of time bubble year. So 2021 may be very, like, heavy going. We'll just see. Just look after yourselves, look after each other. That's how it's going to be. I know, like, all New Year's celebrations all over the world have been cancelled, but have a happy new year. I think it's more like we're glad to see the back of 2020. Might do a 2021 year review. We'll see how different this is going to be. Maybe it'll be a thing. Maybe I'll just start doing it as a year review thing, but I don't know yet. But yes, happy new year. And have a happy 2021, and I will see you all next year with some new videos.